This is Supernatural Selection on DeviantBehaviorRadio.com, hosted by Kevin the Bastard. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Supernatural Selection. I am your host, Kevin the Bastard. With me is David Davis. David, how you doing, buddy?
I am doing well. My third eye is open, and I've made an important discovery about myself.
Well, you can tell us about that in just a second. We also have Mike the Skeptic. Mike, how you doing?
I'm a little nervous, but I will deal.
That's fine. You know what? You ran the other episode before, so just go with that.
All right.
So before we'll be gentle. So before we go into that, David, what have you discovered about yourself in your third eye?
Okay, I have learned that I am a Lyran starseed.
That means you basically spewed Latin at me. Tell me what that means.
What is that? Yes.
Okay, so here are the following traits of the Lyran starseeds. We are drawn to the paranormal and metaphysics.
Oh shit, I might be one.
We explore the physical world to the fullest, have a love of good food, drink, and music.
All right.
We like to push our physical limits. We pursue dreams fearlessly. We enjoy watching and analyzing social interactions. We are intelligent and know a lot about a wide range of topics. We have a live and let live attitude. We have the freedom fighter type mentality. We also may have many lovers because we enjoy the physical experiences of love, but have a hard time staying put. And we're fiercely independent. Or, I'm also an INTJ. So it's either one of those.
So you fuck savagely is basically what you're saying here.
I'm a man of mystery.
International man of sexy mystery.
Yep.
So,
we'll have to do an episode where we look at this, because I just stumbled onto this from a thread on X about like an invasion of cat aliens who are supposed to fuck us into submission.
Oh my god. Okay, we all have to take this fucking test.
So but I was going to say it's basically assigning, fantasy stuff to Myers-Briggs.
Yes. That's what it sounds like. It's like, I'm an elf. No, you're an INFJ, goddammit. So before we go on, David, quick question.
Yes.
We have a new patron donor. Are we keeping that anonymous?
No, go ahead and reveal who it is.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a new $20 patron donator, which means this person is now queen of the podcast. David, still, thank you so much for your donation, but the king is dead. Long live the queen. Queen Holly is now queen of the podcast. Holly, thank you so much for your donation. What you were entitled to, you're going to be getting a special cryptid drawing from David, subject matter of your choice, and you will also be getting the physical rewards in the $20 tier. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to join, this will be a fantastic way to do so. We also will be adding more rewards to each tier as we go. We'll be adding
and a new car
and a brand new car. No, David.
Oh, we've also been talking about milestones as well. We're not quite ready yet, but we are cooking up some fun stuff.
Yes, we're working on some stuff that will be available on the Patreon as we reach certain goals. Admittedly, some of those will be equipment upgrades because we want to bring you the best show we have and we can. But for the time being, it will be like one of the ideas I had is like we'll record voicemail message, or not voicemail, but like ringtones.
Do an Aginost voice message.
Oh yes, Aginost to do. God, your phone is ringing. Wouldn't it be great to have a UFO detector?
I am from the future.
Oh God, Christ, yes. Oh God, I love that documentary so much. It is so. Here's the thing: once we start watching more of them, you know what? They're not as insane and therefore not as good as that one. But we'll deal with that later.
It was a great way to kick off the whole project.
It really was. But Holly, thank you so much for your donation. I cannot tell you how much that means to all three of us. We are extremely happy that you've decided to join us on this journey into madness. Now, that being said, with our bit of housekeeping out of the way, this is a very special episode where we're going to talk about getting trapped in refrigerators. No, this is an episode where Mike has the tiller. Mike wanted to do an episode. Mike, tell us what this episode is about.
So, when I was doing these mad scribbles down, I titled this the Supernaturality of Skepticism.
Ooh.
Because if you think about it, skepticism isn't the natural order of things.
It isn't, but I do want to say that I had an alternate title for this one, which was, well, actually, but
Yeah, I mean,
but yeah, no, you're right. Skepticism is really not where the human mind tends to go. It tends to go for JFK's going to appear Dallas
Dealey
with his
Plaza.
fucking family.
no, the human mind does not go there. That is a
I don't
certain
know.
level of cognitive dissonance.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. But yeah, go on, Mike. Go on.
So I want to preface this by saying, full disclaimer, I'm no expert on anything. Like,
You're a
I have no sheepskins. I'm not.
Yeah. You're a jack of all trade and master of none.
Yeah, I everything I learned was from a Holiday Inn Express and the
kindergarten.
internet, and maybe some, encyclopedias or something like that when I was a kid.
Sure. Hey, that does remind me. Did y'all ever sit and just read the encyclopedias, or was that just me?
That's probably just you.
Fuck you then.
For
like
me,
cover to
it was
cover anything.
Wikipedia.
Right.
You get on Wikipedia and you find yourself clicking from like one article to the next.
See, Kevin and I are oldies, so
Yeah, now,
growing
see,
up, we
back
didn't
when I-
have the internet.
See,
I'm the baby here.
I seriously grew up with a 1968 copy of the Collier's Encyclopedia. So, when I did reports, my teachers would send notes home to my parents, and my parents would have to be like, "Yeah, no, we just can't afford newer encyclopedias. Just give them a pass."
Aw.
Yeah, so I didn't have the internet till I was an adult. I mean, I was 20 or something, but
Yeah.
But
You merely adopted the internet. No.
also, I want to say I'm not here to poo-poo in anyone's Cocoa Puffs.
Yes, you are,
Like,
but we're gonna go.
Well,
on.
no, I don't.
You don't wanna
want to
ruin
be the
anybody's-
Debbie Downer. I mean,
Okay.
I point out. Damn it!
Don't give me an opportunity to use that goddamn button. That's all I'm saying.
I really don't like telling, especially if I don't have proof.
You don't want to shit on anybody's world.
Yeah, I mean, if I don't have the exact facts, especially in real life, or I don't know the person that well, I tend to not say anything, just because if I'm wrong, I'm the asshole for
That's fair.
saying, well, actually. That's the other thing, is I don't want to be the
everybody has that bullshit detector too. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's just you have a very sensitive one.
and I
You
don't
really do.
I don't
and
wanna
I
be-
appreciate it, actually.
I don't want to be a real life version of the well actually guy.
I know, but Mike, in all fairness, I know we joke about you being the Debbie Downer, you being the killjoy and everything, but you really are kind of the grounding part of this podcast that keeps us from going way off the goddamn deep end. So I do want you to know how much that's appreciated.
Yes. Well,
So,
I mean,
and that's one of the reasons why we want you to do this episode.
yeah, and I appreciate that, and understand that anything like this needs multiple viewpoints. It can't be just an echo chamber, a circle jerk.
Yeah, it just turns into me and David talking about the superstructure.
Before you know it, we're both QAnon members or something.
Yeah,
God.
just this feedback loop where you turn into just the worst versions.
Yeah, we're just going to join Mr. Aggie Nost in his weird world.
I'm already working my UFO detector.
Oh, Christ. Okay. Well, I'm already working on losing my hair, so we're both working on aspects. So, Mike, let's start. What you got for us with this?
So, let's see. Looking at my notes, we covered most of this.
Mike's got notes, and I love the fact that Mike has notes.
I have the notes this time.
Mike has the notes.
And also, if there was stuff out there that could be proven to me, I mean, I know proof is kind of...
It's vague these days.
Yeah, but no one would like more for this stuff to exist. I mean, I'm not sitting here going, well, I don't want this stuff to exist, so therefore it doesn't.
Yeah, like if aliens showed up on the White House lawn, you'd be ecstatic.
I'd be like, oh, what are they doing? Are they going to kill us? Please don't kill us.
Like if a dude showed up with George Washington's ghost, I'm pretty sure you'd shit your pants.
Yeah, I mean, if it, like when we told the stories of our things, when that I saw that glowing thing, in my bedroom, I was like, what is that?
Yeah.
And you know what, Mike? Here's the thing. You remind me of a Fox Mulder poster because you want to believe.
Yes. Mike is like the absolute version of my thing where I said, I want to believe, but I'm going to need some proof first. That's Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's you, buddy.
And I just can't ignore, all the science. The science has done so much for us.
Like,
it does get in the way a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it, and I'll get into this a little bit later too, but science is also fantastical in its own right.
It kind of is, especially when you get into like quantum mechanics and shit. But yeah.
So one of the first things I want to talk about, like in skepticism, you have to realize the human mind is the most fallible data storage system we've ever encountered.
You're right, man. Look, we're going to talk about this in the future, but like there's an episode where I want to talk about the Mandela effect. And like I have convinced people that Optimus Prime turned to dust in Transformers the movie, and that didn't fucking happen. I just told them it did, and they were like, yeah, no, I remember that. And I'm like, no, you fucking don't, goddamn it.
I think I might remember that from before I even met you, thinking that
Jesus Christ,
Optimus
dude,
Prime
what the fuck? Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is it's fallible, though.
It's very fallible. In fact, it's very... your recollections are a very low... have given very low weight in, like, the courts of law because of that. Hearsay and your memory have to be backed up with physical evidence.
Yeah.
For, any kind of serious, judgment to be made. Your memory is basically made up of the bits your brain thought were the most important at the time, which might not even be relevant.
Yeah. And you can like
especially in a stressful situation or a situation where you're seeing something that's freaking you out.
Yeah.
And it could just be, you're just saving all these disjointed, bits that aren't quite what you think they are.
Yeah.
Well, and it's also how, like, what parts of the memory get recorded because we rely on them more. So, for example, the trickery of the eyes, because we are so vision-centric in the way that we experience the world.
Oh, yeah. That leads into another part. The human brain is fantastic at pattern recognition.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it is probably one of the things it's best at.
We're really good at identifying.
Like, have you ever sat on the toilet and looked at like the tiles on the floor or the wallpaper on the wall and start seeing pictures there? You see like, faces or patterns.
Let me ask, are you talking about my old bathroom in South Jackson where you could see a duck face like right over the toilet holder?
No, I don't. I never saw that one.
Really? Okay, because like I saw that for like 30 years of my fucking life. So like I'm a little surprised no one else saw that.
But yeah, I mean just
it's like when you look at the back of a car and you see, a face in the car because the tail lights being the eyes,
absolutely,
the bumper being the mouth.
Yeah, but also, it's sometimes in that there is, like, in man-made things like that, there is kind of, especially in a product they want to sell.
Oh, yeah.
Anthropomorphization.
We will definitely encode a face, either
Especially it's a happy
consciously
face.
or unconsciously.
Yeah, I mean, faces are
Yeah.
like the number one thing our brains look for in anything.
Yeah. Are you me?
Especially if it's a face that has a certain, expression.
Yeah.
Showing an emotion.
I promise I'm not going to keep interrupting you for the rest of the show,
No, it's
Mike.
okay.
But, like, one of the things they say is that is a holdover from, like, our early days where we would, like, search through the brush and the underbrush and the jungle looking for a similar face. You know, trying to identify either someone in our tribe or outside of our tribe in the leaves. Mm-hmm. So, like, that totally makes sense. In fact, and the funny thing is that is also something that gets brought up in webcomics a lot.
Yeah.
So, because, that's the thing. Anyway, continue.
Yeah. No, well, I mean, this is the discussion part of this topic. So,
yeah.
But, it also, there's the uncanny valley where, we're so good at, faces that, or so good at determining a good face that when something's just slightly off, it makes it look alien or disturbing.
David, you've been to Disney World, right?
I've been to Disneyland.
Disneyland. I'm sorry. You've been to Disneyland. You've probably experienced the uncanny valley a couple of times.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The thing about the uncanny valley is it's a very strange spectrum because when you're
is.
aiming for realism and you fall just shy of perfect realism, that's what disturbs you. Whereas if you go for something exaggerated, it doesn't bother you as much.
Yeah, no, like Jessica Rabbit and Roger Rabbit, where they're like, well, we're going to change it to where it's not like Uncanny Valley, and it works. As opposed to, like, when we went to Disney World, Mike, and we went to Ellen's Energy Adventure.
Oh, God.
And we saw an animatronic Ellen DeGeneres fighting off a snake with a stick. And I was like, okay, first off, that is horrifying. Secondly, this is a metaphor.
Well, and you know what? That's the great thing about, like, the Disney animatronics is, like, as they get better, the more... The less human the figure is, the better the animatronics and the more realistic they feel. Like, if you ever look at the video of, like, the Avatar ride with the shaman, it is amazingly lifelike because it doesn't quite look human.
Yeah.
Whereas, like the Jack Sparrow figure
oh, God.
Is
on
a
Pirates of the
nightmare.
Caribbean, it feels strange because they're aiming for that likeness.
And they've done a new Beauty and the Beast ride with a bell that looks like fucking amazing because it's just a 3D cartoon moving around as opposed to a human that will make you start screaming.
Yeah, and I've seen pictures, never been in person, but the Madame Trudeau, the wax figures, those never, like, I was like,
no,
those looked horrible.
Oh, yeah,
Horrifying.
that does remind me, Ghost Forge, no, someone else in a Discord recently, Firehide, brought up the fact that the Madame Trudeau stuff, as a conspiracy, might be shedded reptilian skin, just with a body stuffed inside and painted to look human, so that it's all just a place to use their skin.
They shed their carapace, so
Yes.
they got to do something with it, or else turn into a flower pot.
Reptiles. I love that theory, by the way. So, Mike, what else you got, buddy?
So, that's about the
general fallibility of the human mind.
So, I'm gonna hold a little class here
Oh boy! Everybody, get your seats.
and teach you how to be a skeptic.
Woohoo!
You're not my real father.
I like that entirely too much.
Well, so everyone, you always hear don't jump to conclusions, right?
right.
Well, that's easier said than done.
Yeah, I mean, there was that jump to conclusions map in Office Space.
You jump to conclusions.
I mean, yeah. It's a $1 million idea.
I wouldn't say even I, because I'm not no great paragon or anything, but, even the best of us, get it wrong
Yes.
a lot. So,
Yeah.
I will say also that, knowledge, of course, is power. Knowing things is better than not knowing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Schoolhouse Rock.
Yes,
Just thinking that.
But don't hyper focus on, a subject, because, having a breadth of information can give you perspective on subjects. And
Yeah.
also another a thing I like to, a tenet I like to adhere to is Occam's razor.
Right.
If once you remove the impossible, whatever remains, no matter how improbable, is probably the answer.
Right.
So I try to look at, what at least I think to be not possible, and see if there's a explanation and another explanation. So like with and his Boogie thing picture.
His bougie. Oh, the Puckwudgie.
Puckwudgie, yeah.
Yeah, the thing that
Bougie
looks
Bougie.
like the thing from
I can't remember what the heck it's called.
from Mac and Me. Right.
The blurry tan
The
blob.
dog.
The first thing I think of, well, it's a house. What else could be in a house that could be vaguely that color and shape? And, well, a dog.
Yeah.
A dog kind of fits, at least to my mind. I don't know it was a dog. I could find out they didn't have a dog at all.
Right.
But yeah, and it was supposed to be at like a house party or something.
Right.
So
he said there were no children present.
no
but
children,
still.
but it
Didn't
just
say nothing about dogs.
just makes me think of a golden retriever, the general kind of shape and hue.
I hope it's a Sphinx cat just to throw you off.
That would be funny.
That would be.
It'd be
Maybe
very
it was a
awkward.
dog that didn't have its front legs.
Oh
Now
man,
you're
those
sad.
are.
Now you're sad.
It's not sad because I would pet the shit out of that dog.
Well, Occam's razor and critical thinking's about the same thing. It's, working through a problem instead of the first thing that,
The first thing that pops
Yeah,
into
yeah.
your head, like ghost monkeys.
yeah, like my example,
You, Kevin.
the glowing thing on my in my bedroom. I thought,
Right.
is that a ghost? Oh crap, is that a ghost? Well, I guess I'm going to have
What's-
to find out.
Right. What's more likely, a ghost or my watch?
Well, no, I didn't know what it was until I approached it, until I
Right.
got near
No.
it.
But you did approach it with a much more scientific viewpoint than I would.
Well, I mean,
which
like
is stare
physically approach it.
Right. Like, I would just stare at it for like fucking 6 hours and be terrified until I fell asleep.
I stared at it for a good, 2 minutes or so.
Yeah, but 2 minutes versus 6 hours is a pretty good, like, yardstick between the two of us.
But then I thought, well, if it was going to hurt me, it probably would have.
See, I don't think I would have thought of that.
So I got out of bed.
Mm-hmm.
I did wear glasses, so I think I
Right.
might have grabbed my glasses.
And you probably thought, man, I need to see this more clearly.
Of course, when I put my glasses on and turned the light on, I couldn't see it as easily.
Right, because
But-
it was smaller.
Yeah. So, but yeah, and I walked up to it. So, don't let the fear of the unknown stop you from figuring it out. And if you figure it out to be aliens or
A
Bigfoot
serial
or
killer?
a serial killer, sure.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't let the fear bother you unless it's a serial killer, in which case, run.
But in that case, also, don't be afraid, because on average, how many people have died from the unknown?
Do we want to talk about that? I mean, I'd love to find some stats on that.
I'm
David?
just saying that, I haven't heard of anybody that, we know of.
Well,
So,
but it depends on what you mean by the unknown, because there are people who have gone off into the wilderness to die, and the wilderness
yeah.
is by all measures
Definition.
something that is unknown.
Right.
yeah, true. But, and, you could be like hunting Bigfoot and get shot by a hunter, or,
But, like, in your bedroom.
but yeah,
That's fair. Wait, you don't have a closet that opens up into a void at your house?
No, but I do have a closet that opens to Richard Ramirez's brain.
Oh,
And
no, that's not good.
I tend to keep that closed because I want to keep my fucking blood. Okay, so Occam's razor, and basically, don't be afraid of the fear. That was a very good one. I remember when I was setting something on your desk and I saw that. I was like, that's a really good thing. Like, okay, yes, you're afraid, but bravery is doing something despite that fear. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, yes, I'm afraid, but I'm going to do this anyway because, God damn it, I got to do this.
Yeah. And, that all wraps into the natural thing for, if you were a person still living in, a pre-modern society, your reaction to the unknown would either be to run away or beat the crap out of it.
Fight or flight.
Sorry, go ahead, David. What were you saying?
I was just saying fight or flight.
Yeah. I was going to say, okay, run away. Yeah.
And then create a religion.
Yes. Beat the crap out of it. Always a good option.
Yeah.
Because, like, how many times did somebody see something staring up, glowing in the darkness, and it was a light, 2 points of light, and they beat the shit out of it, and then the next morning they realized they beat their prize sheep to death?
No.
Oh, no. Wally, you're dead. What did I do?
So, any questions about being more skeptical?
Basically, don't trust anything.
No. I'm saying, do you have any questions for me, though?
David, have you got any?
Yes. Okay. So, sometimes weird shit absolutely happens, like weird coincidences. So how do you grapple with that? Like, for example, like sometimes fish fucking rains from the clouds. You know what I mean? Like when you're skeptical, and there's sometimes
and then like
weird
you're
things
out in
happen.
like you're like my dad. You're out in the field and suddenly fucking minnows rain from the sky.
So I can't. I mean, that's never happened to me. So I can't really say from experience.
Right.
But I just have to first look at natural phenomenon and see, was there like a water spout that threw the fish up into the air? I mean, and if all those things, turn out there's absolutely no meteorological phenomenon that could have caused it. Fish obviously don't live in the sky.
I love the idea that somewhere there's somebody that listens to the podcast going, "Fuck you, Mike," just because of that one statement.
There aren't no sky fish.
Goddamn, fuck you, Mike.
Goddamn sky whales are gonna be so mad.
And also, I think I remember it's vague, so I can't cite.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to mute myself and I hit the wrong button. I'm so sorry.
You just shit on my. But no, I remember.
Please continue.
I have a vague, dim memory of hearing about some fish that were found in a weird area, and it turned out there had been aerial firefighter water planes. I can't remember what they're actually called.
Like where they scoop up water and just dump it on the fire, and there happened to have been fish in there.
Yeah, they had scooped up some fish, and
totally understandable unless it's 1944.
Because if you're hiking in the middle of fucking a park or some forest, and there's not a lake for 1,000 yards in either direction, you find a bunch of dead fish laying there, you're going to be like, what the fuck?
Yes.
So I can understand that, but again, I would think I would be like, my first few thoughts would be like trying to figure out what's the logical way
where the fuck did this fish come from, like, in a realistic standpoint.
Yeah. But and also,
but in a pasture in Scott County, Mississippi, in 1944-45, just a shit ton of minnows falling from the sky.
And the minnows are kind of the easiest thing to think of because they're so small. It would take very little of it would take a lot less energy in a phenomenon to throw them into the air. Whereas you talk about half-pound carp or something would require bigger of a.
I totally get that. It's always small fish, so I totally get that.
So that'd be more common.
But and this is just a huge butt to throw like a monkey wrench into your thing, Mike.
Yeah.
It's dummy thick because it's a huge butt.
It's a huge dummy thick butt.
Yeah.
What if God just decided there weren't enough minnows in the world and just dropped them on my dad?
I would hope they would put him in a lake.
Man, I don't know that God thinks that much.
If he can think we need more minnows, I'm pretty sure he could come to the conclusion, well, let's put them in a lake so they will live.
What if he's got shitty bureaucracy?
So I don't believe that, animals just come from nothing.
I understand this.
And so animals had to be born somewhere.
Uh-huh.
Which in fish's case is some body of water.
Uh-huh.
And they had to get out of that body of water somehow.
Uh-huh.
So therefore, unless they're aliens that just like raining fish on people, which if I was an alien, I probably would do.
Dude,
that'd be fucking fun as hell.
That would be David, think about that, man. You and me with a UFO flying all around the galaxy, just dropping fish on things.
But if I was an
I'd do
alien like
crazy
that,
shit.
you know what I would do?
What?
It'd be a blue fucking whale in the middle of Arizona.
Oh my God, that would be awesome!
No, poor whale.
Oh my God, that would be great! I'd do that in a heartbeat.
Okay, I would find one of those dead ones that are already beached. I
Okay,
would just
sure.
kill
Yeah,
one.
like the one they blew up with the TNT that time.
But just
God, that video.
Oh God, yes. Okay, so you just drop a dead whale on some fucking aliens, all right. But that would be way funnier than just minnows.
yeah, it's like if it's that. I know this is just an example, but
Right.
that in that
Yeah.
example, I'd be like, well, if it is a supernatural phenomenon, I could think of much better uses of that phenomenon than just raining little fish on people.
Right. Okay, but can you imagine the confusion of the fucking fish? What if they're the object of the thing? Like the fish are just like, what the fuck? Oh my God!
Well, see, I can understand that in like the Hitchhiker's Guide with the whale, but little fish,
Right.
they have little brains, and their little brains can't comprehend much other than,
Why can't I breathe?
Yes.
Fuck.
I can't breathe. It's very cold.
Why is there no
I'm
air?
dead.
Yeah, now I'm dead. I'm falling on Ted Heyman. Great.
Heck, those
Well,
fish.
this just made me feel very sad. These poor
Yeah,
fish.
holy shit. I kind of want to end it all. Mike, continue on with your fucking skepticism, please.
Well, like I was saying, this was the Q&A portion. Anybody any
Right.
other questions?
David, you
Okay,
got
I mean,
anything?
I got more.
Oh, please, by all means.
Okay, so there's that idea of suspension of disbelief. So, have you ever encountered something where it's like logically you know that this isn't something supernatural, but you feel like you feel that you feel that compulsion to believe it or to
Right.
accept it as is?
So, a lot of times I have seen things in the sky that I don't know for sure are an airplane,
Right.
but, doing that, the Occam's razor, the
It's gotta
all
be
things
an
being equal,
airplane.
I'm like, that's probably an airplane. Although there are some I've seen that it's like, that's more than likely a meteorite. Because it's,
Right,
just
right.
a very fast-moving streak.
Gotcha.
But, I mean, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I just kind of...
You just jump to the logical conclusion.
Yeah, I tend to think that, what's the most reasonable
Right.
thing it could be?
Like the hole in the clouds after the explosion.
Obviously, there's assumptions there. I mean, I am making an assumption because I don't know the facts.
But it's a
I'm not gonna-
logical assumption as opposed to me and David going aliens.
Yeah. It's like Kevin and I would be, driving somewhere like late at night. And he's like, "What's that light?" And I'm like, "That's probably an airplane, dude."
And then I'd look at it closely and I'm like, right, yeah, fucking airplane.
An airplane.
Yeah, Mike taught me to be a skeptic on a lot of things. So
I feel like he grounds you quite a bit, Kevin.
he does. I need Mike.
That's the
in
other
my
thing I
life.
do want to stress is that being more skeptical of things doesn't necessarily have to take the wonderment out of the world.
No. I mean,
course.
like, I have seen some shit in the sky that Mike would be like, I don't know what the fuck that is, if he had been there or if he'd been watching. Like the time we saw a light where I was like, that's really bright for a star. And me and Paul watched it for several minutes, and then it just started fucking moving. Just out of fucking nowhere.
Maybe an experimental plane.
Hush, Mike.
Well, I would say, the apparent motion of objects.
I'm going to punch you in the dick, Mike.
The apparent motion of objects can be very deceiving.
I'm going to punch you in the dick.
Because the lateral motion, for you up, down, left, right, in reference to your vision, is a lot more, is more apparent than something coming straight onto you.
Do you understand why I have David on the shit that's like really bizarre so you don't fucking shit on it? No, I'm joking, but like I understand, but like also it just like really it like moved at a certain speed and then it like moved at another speed.
Well, I'm just saying
when
that
it was moving. So like
an object coming, like if it, an
no,
airplane,
if it's coming at you, it doesn't look like it's moving,
or moving very slowly. And then if it turns, its apparent motion's going to look like it's accelerating.
No, I get that. I totally get that. Can you explain though the massive Christmas tree lights? Do you remember me telling you about that, Mike?
No.
It was like a wad of colored Christmas tree lights, just random colors moving across the sky from, hang on, let me think, from east to west. No, correction, west to east. I saw it out my window, ran out in the backyard, and saw it moving. It was literally a mass of lights just moving, like red,
Someone kicked a
yellow.
lit Christmas tree out of a plane.
Are you telling me, man? Okay, that was David. What the fuck?
I mean, I would.
I wish you had seen this, Mike, because I would love to know what you thought when you had seen it. You would have been like,
yeah, I mean,
because like I wasn't asleep because I ran out in the yard and saw it after I saw it through the window, and then ran back in and told my dad, and he was like, you were asleep. I'm like, I wasn't asleep in the goddamn backyard.
Well, you might have been asleep.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you, I was asleep in the backyard.
But, I mean, I will say that, the atmosphere does do some crazy things with optics sometimes.
Yeah, okay, but like somebody told me it was okay.
So if it's a mass of lights, how big is it in relation to you? Like,
to me,
and how far? Like,
about 3 inches long.
So if it was right in front of your face,
it was longer than it was
be?
wide.
So if it was right in front of your face, it'd be about 3 inches.
3 inches, and the colors were changing all over it, and it was individual lights.
Okay, so that anything at altitude being that big,
I never said how high it was.
Well,
yeah,
but I would assume you would think it would be, high enough to where, I mean, how high did it look?
I will say that I heard absolutely no noise, and it was low enough for me to make out individual circular lights.
I don't know.
Like it was like you could see. It wasn't like waves, like it was low enough that I could see individual like red, green, blue, yellow, orange, white, all that shit in it, just changing.
Here's the thing about skepticism.
Like,
okay, we can make the assumption that, okay, sure, maybe it was an unidentified flying object.
Sure.
But because of that, could it have been some sort of experimental aircraft? Definitely. Could it have been aliens? Maybe.
Bullshit. Wait, no. Yes. Yes, on the aliens.
Well, here's a problem, though.
Okay.
So if it was aliens,
right,
we've never heard anything like that before.
That's true.
It pertains to.
I have never heard a report of that kind of ship.
So that also kind of is weird. Even if you take aliens as a given,
Yeah.
it
No, it's
doesn't
bizarre.
line up with anything.
It is really bizarre. I will also say that the dumbest explanation I've had was, oh, you saw lightning bugs. I'm like, the fuck I saw
Now,
lightning bugs.
Are you sure it wasn't swamp gas off of Pelican's Eye?
I am 100% sure it was not fucking pelicans in Mississippi.
I mean, so
Mike,
yeah.
here's the thing. I'm not asking you for answers.
I know.
It is
But-
one of those things that if you had seen, you would probably be like, I have no idea what the fuck I
or
just saw.
I would have been like, oh, that's a so and so, and
That's
you
a
would
s-
hate me.
And I would fucking punch you in the gut for it.
Friendship
Like if
will
we
be over.
if we went out, went out driving somewhere and you saw it and we pulled over and I saw it too and I told you, oh no, that's just a doobly doo, and you'd be like, fuck you, Mike. I'm never talking to you again.
I would never say I'm never talking to you again, but it would be like you're never being on the podcast again. David, you got any other questions for Mike?
Yeah, Mike. Okay, let's be honest here. All right, we're gonna get real with each other real quick.
Sure.
All right. So, what is the wackiest thing you believe? You know the idea that we all have these kind of weird conspiratorial thoughts that we have sometimes that we kind of
Right.
indulge. I think everybody has that. I don't think I'm going too crazy by suggesting that. So, do
No,
you
I think we all
have
do.
a wacky thought?
I think I have some idea of what it is, but I want to
Really?
see what Mike says.
'Cause I really-
You
oh my
said
God.
something about it where God, I can't remember what it was. It was something a few weeks ago where you said you'd almost believe this.
Oh, I don't remember.
It was something really bizarre,
Goddamn.
it was something either political or financial. I can't remember what.
Jeez, I can't remember either.
Shit. It
Did
was
it involve the government doing something?
obviously.
Okay, so
It was something like, oh wait, I almost had it. It was something really obscure and stupid. Shit, I can't remember for the life of me. But it was somewhere Mike was like, I can almost believe that is conspiracy. I was like, really now?
Damn it, I wish you could
Shit.
remember.
It was something. God damn it.
We'll change the subject and you'll remember.
Yeah, no, definitely. Let's move on. But Mike did have something.
So, I mean, there are, a lot of not a lot, but there are some, darker, government and financial things that I think are true. I mean,
Yeah.
not like deep state or any shit like that, but
right, but stuff that's kind of plausible,
Right,
like
yeah.
the supernaturally tinged stuff. Okay, I can understand the skepticism. I mean,
so
that's
a
a
lot
natural
of
thing.
secret government programs, obviously. I mean,
Yeah.
there's just been
Skunk Works type stuff.
yeah, there's been a lot of secret developments that we don't learn about till years later.
MK Ultra.
Yeah,
Yeah.
MK Ultra, all the stealth programs. I mean, there's, the usual run of the mill, social media, not on social media, but the stuff behind the social media bad.
Right.
So I think that's
bad.
pretty much a given at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is a theory, as a abstract, it's not that bad, but it's just being run extremely toxically and poorly.
Right.
Right.
And the government is, the government's gonna government. They're doing a shit job at it.
Yeah.
Hang
Ooh, I got one.
Okay.
Did Epstein kill himself?
Ooh.
I kind of think he did.
Yeah.
Just because he had nothing else. I mean, he knew he wasn't. I think what it was is he reached out to the Clintons and hey man, you need to get me off. And the Clintons no man, we got our bases covered.
I'm pretty sure
Fuck
the Clintons were like, yeah, we'll get you off.
No, I'm
And then
pretty sure.
they got Arkansited.
No, I'm pretty sure they just told him, well, no, there's nothing we can do for you.
He got Arkansited.
And then, he hung himself.
Fair enough.
Because,
Fair enough.
I mean, you think about it. He knew he could not get out of this.
So
And at
you're
that
saying
point-
he did kill
Yes.
himself?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I
But
just think,
once he realized he was fucked,
Yeah,
completely
yeah,
fucked.
he
But
realized.
is there like a part of you that also thinks maybe someone killed him off?
I mean, I don't think it's impossible. It could
Okay,
happen
see,
that way.
see,
Okay.
that's what I'm looking
See,
for.
yeah, there's a difference between no, this is impossible,
I-
and I don't think he did, but it's possible.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's less likely than him, committing suicide, but it's not unlikely. It's a weighted
I think that he-
determination.
right. I just think there's a lot of
I'm
people
like-
that needed him dead.
I'm like 75% he committed suicide, 25%. Well, it's possible that he was arc-incited.
You know what? That's actually pretty fucking good compared to like 90-10.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So-
those are some good odds. I like that.
Yeah, I like that. I'd take that bet.
yeah. So,
Have you got anything else on your agenda there, Mike?
well, you haven't asked me any questions, Kevin.
I don't. I know you though.
Yeah, but the people don't.
Okay.
This is
Like,
this
all
is
right.
for the people. Too.
All right. We've talked about like seeing shit in the sky. We've talked about like political stuff. I know generally, like, okay. What would it take for you to believe in a ghost?
It would take a
fair bit?
It would take a personal experience, I think.
Like, say, hypothetically speaking, a relative showing
I
up.
wouldn't even have to be a relative. It'd have to be. All right. So,
Would
what
it
would you
have to be like
consider?
the scene? Would it have to be like the scene from Ghostbusters with Dan Aykroyd getting the ghost blowjob?
That would be
Or-
interesting, but
That
no.
is not the fucking experience I was
But
thinking. I was actually thinking the
it's
new
not a relative,
Ghostbusters, but yeah.
But so no. So, what would you consider the most common ghost encounter?
Like actual ghost?
Yeah. Like what? Like in the
The annals of ghost history.
Yeah.
The spectral apparition appearing and going about their lives with you witnessing it.
I'd say something even less, even less dramatic, and that would be something like the closing of the door or the rocking of a chair.
No, I'm sorry. With that, I'm always going with it's a girl going through her period for the first time. But let's go ahead, whichever.
So it feels like if I'm sitting in a room,
Right.
it depends on how the door closes. Like if it
Right, okay.
slams shut from fully open, yeah, I'd be like, what the fuck? That shouldn't happen. But if the door is like mostly closed, there's a lot of things. I've been in houses where, someone opening a door on the other end of the house caused enough suction to suck that door
Sure.
the rest of the way closed. Or,
Okay.
The air conditioner turning on, created enough
Yeah,
of
no.
pressure.
Yeah, air
to
pressure
close. So
differences.
it kind of depends. Like a rocking chair, yeah, that's a different
Like
one.
a
'cause it
rocking
shouldn't-
chair and nothing else moving
Yeah.
around it kind of thing.
That's kind of a hard one because I
Uh-huh.
can't think of any reasons that it would rock on its
Right.
own, because it should be in a steady state. There shouldn't be any
Right.
unless gravity decided to
Inertia
fuck up
and
right
shit.
there.
Mm-hmm.
Or
And now, what about a spirit box? Like if you hear something over a spirit box, what do you think about that?
I don't know that Mike really understands what a spirit box is. David, could
so
you
is
explain a spirit box?
EVP
Okay.
thing?
Not
Yeah, so-
exactly.
So what it does is it sweeps through radio frequencies
Yeah.
at a super fast rate. And the idea is that in this energy static that it sweeps through, spirits are supposedly be able to like harness that energy and to speak through it.
And Mike, before you answer, just on a personal level, I think this is bullshit as well, but let's continue onward.
I would say I've seen some really weird electronic phenomenon.
Right.
Like the we talked about it once before.
With your dad.
The picking up the Mexican
Oh,
radio.
right, yes.
on a
Mexican
microphone.
radio. Right.
I'm
So-
on the Mexican radio.
So, I mean,
Whoa.
anything we've so polluted the electromagnetic spectrum, I don't think I could
Yeah.
take that credibly
That's fair.
just because it's
Now-
so.
Like, can you
No.
imagine you're sitting there, you think it's a ghost entrance, and it's like a 300-pound dude on a ham radio somewhere in
Right.
Nebraska.
I mean, the
Now,
sweeping. Go ahead.
I would love to see you two try the Estes method as an experiment and just see
Now-
how that turns out.
Explain the Estes method.
Okay, so the Estes method was a method of using a spirit box that was developed by some ghost investigation, some paranormal investigation in Estes
Right.
Park, Colorado.
Okay.
And the idea is that you have a person blindfolded and
Oh, is this where
connected
the
to a
one
s-
person asks the questions and the person who's blindfolded and deaf responds to the questions?
Well, they're not deaf. They have the spirit box,
Right,
and that's
right,
all
right,
they can,
right. Yeah,
that's all
yeah.
they can hear.
They did
But
that
what you-
on
yeah. Hellier.
Hellier, yes.
Yes. Now, I think that would be fascinating to see what you two uncover doing something like that.
I'm pretty sure with me and Mike, it would just churn out complete shit. I'd be like, "What are you feeling?" And you'd be like,
Ghost.
"Discount value at Burger King."
Now, see, it seems silly, but I would love to do the Estes method myself.
Oh, no,
because
I'd love
there's
to
something
do
absolutely
it.
interesting about that.
Yeah, no, I'd love to do it, but I'm just saying, like, with me and Mike, it would be like an Abbott and Costello routine from the psychic world. So,
Yeah. And also, I have kind of qualms about the sweeping radio frequency, because that doesn't seem like it would produce much of anything.
I would definitely be more inclined to believe something I heard on a static AM radio or like a ham radio
So
frequency.
it would definitely have to be AM, because AM is so primitive that.
Well, like I'm talking about like world band.
Well, yeah, but AM radio, you can pick up AM radio on, like just
Your
a,
teeth.
yeah. I mean,
Lucille Ball said she was picking up AM radio on her
so I'm trying to
dentures.
remember what MythBusters said about that.
I'm pretty sure it's whatever you feel about it.
But AM radio is so primitive that it doesn't take much more than someone's bimetallic fillings to
Right.
pick it up. I mean, you don't even need a battery
Yeah.
in some cases to make a crystal radio.
Right.
So, I mean, heck, they were making them in like World War I trenches.
That's true.
So I could see if there are ghosts, they could somehow modulate
AM.
the EM spectrum. So
Right,
So
right,
it's just
right,
it's an
right.
understanding about what the difference between AM and FM are. So, want me to discuss this? I can tell
Yeah,
you.
science
what
corner.
Please go
So-
for it. Science Corner.
AM is amplitude modulation.
Right.
Whereas if you think about the radio wave, it's a wave form, just like a sound wave is, and AM radio just makes that wave peak higher. So therefore, the wavelength doesn't change, but it's basically getting louder and quieter.
So the
Kinda like
height
like
and
a
the
speaker would do.
bottom
So-
of it.
So yeah,
are
so
more.
it's basically sound waves, but in a radio format instead of a sound format. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
Whereas
sure.
FM is frequency modulation. So you ever notice when you're tuning an FM station, you get bleed through? Like if you're on a analog dial radio, you turn it a little past, and you still hear some of the station, but you get a lot of static too on it.
Right.
That's because it's using a frequency spectrum. It's not just on one frequency. It's this
It's
say if it's
over a range.
yeah, say if it's the 100, it's the channel 100, but it's actually like, say, 99.5 to 101 or 100.5, that frequency. It's modulating instead of modulating the amplitude up and down. If you're looking at the waveform, it'd be the peaks and valleys that are modulating. Here, it's the frequency modulating, so the amplitude stays the same, the peaks and valleys stay the same, just they get closer together and further apart as they're
Right.
to produce the sound.
Right. And the reason FM won out in the AM FM war was because of basically just sound quality.
Yes, sound
Like
quality
AM,
and distance. You can get further distance because with AM, the further you go away from it,
the weaker it is.
Yes, it gets weaker, but that weakness also degrades the quality too. Whereas
Right.
FM,
It's a solid quality.
you can get a
But-
very faint signal, but because the modulation is in the frequency, that frequency is still there. Whereas in AM, you lose that
Hey, Mike.
modulation. Yeah.
Hey, Mike. I'm helping.
Yes, you are.
I'm just saying.
I know.
Sorry.
But
It's
so-
just, I
so
knew
in that-
something.
So in that case, like I was saying, I could see AM being, if there are ghosts, AM being the business, because it would just be like, it'd be like sound, but in an electromagnetic.
It's easier to
regime.
disrupt as well
Yeah.
in a lot of ways
But-
because, like you said, like we've got a fucking microphone cable and we're picking up Tijuana.
Right.
But if a ghost is trying to communicate, it would make more sense for its basically, when it's talking, its voice to, instead of being, vibrations of sound, it's, if it is an energy being, it would be, vibrations in a radio wave, and that
Right.
radio wave,
That-
they're being
Right.
so synonymous, being basically the same waveform structure, just in different mediums.
Now, David, you were
Now,
about
here's
to say
my question.
something. Yeah.
Here's my question. Okay, so I'm not an expert on how spirit boxes work, but part of the way that it works is it's because it's going through signals so rapidly. So it'd
Yeah.
be like taking that kind of knob and just like taking like a power drill and just turning that knob with a power drill, and that's why it's so dramatic when you get those voices over the spirit box, because it's talking over going through over like hundreds of frequencies
Yeah.
to
My problem
So
with that is that the spirit, whatever was trying to communicate, would have to match that change cadence, because it's sweeping through all these frequencies. And so a frequency is nothing more than the how close those peaks and valleys of the wave are together. So you're just looking through all those. It'd be like, I'm trying to think of an example.
It reminds
here.
me of like a flip book. That's what, like, I'm envisioning the spirit box process like a flip book, how you have these hundreds and hundreds of little singular images, and then when you're speeding through it, then you get the motion, and you get a larger piece. So that's how I'm envisioning how this works, but I'm not an expert. I think we should like look into this to
I think that'd
do
be
like
a
an
great
episode
idea.
on those
Mike,
tools, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
Mike, why don't you kind of make a note about that, and we can come back and actually like really go in depth about how ghost tools work from like an outside.
You're a ghost tool.
You're a ghost tool, motherfucker. But like, I think that'd be a great idea because, like, is like was a ghost hunter, and I would love to hear, like, I've heard his view on it. I would love to hear your view on it in a more in-depth manner. How's that sound?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm helping.
You're helping. That would be great because, like, I'm just sitting here going, man, Mike has, like, fucking answers and shit. And, like, all I ever go is, like, well, what do you think about this? I'm like, well, I think fuck you, and I'm right.
I mean, like I said, I have approximate answers. I'm no expert, but I have approximate knowledge of many things.
I was hoping you'd go there. So,
You've watched a few episodes of Bill Nye.
Yeah.
You know what you're talking about.
So, have you got anything else, Mike, in your notes?
So I also feel that, a lot of people are kind of jaded to science as,
I think that's
their
a
source
shame.
of their wonderment. Because science, and not just science.
Science.
I mean, science is such a big
magical.
thing. And when people say science, a lot of people immediately shut down thinking, oh, it's, something complex.
This is going to ruin my thing.
Yeah. But I mean, it's you use it every day. I mean, it's enriched everyone's lives. And
I mean, shit. Science
you
is
can't-
when you fill the bathtub and you stop so you can get in and it doesn't fucking spill over.
yeah, and that's knowledge. But yeah, science increases the knowledge. In fact, the other day I realized. So, there's that parable about Archimedes sitting in the tub.
Eureka!
For a long time, especially since I heard that as a kid, I always thought were they that dumb that they didn't realize that the bathtub overflows?
No, it's more of he realized why it did it.
No,
No?
I realized it's that he realized he probably was working on the problem of how to measure volume. And he was like thinking, well, if I measure like all the sides of an object and all this, and he probably sat down in the bathtub and it overflowed, and he's like, what if I just submerged it and see how much water it displaced?
Right.
I mean, and that's what it is. That's the theory of displacement, is that,
Right.
You just submerge an object, you fill, a container all the way full, and you submerge it, and whatever it displaces, that's the volume of the object.
Yeah.
So, and that's science. That's all science is questioning and validating. It's how did Adam Savage put it? It's damn it, I can't remember. He put it very succinctly once, and I can't remember for the life of me what he said. It was something like, playing around, but also writing it down.
Yeah.
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 So it's done so many interesting, especially the last, it always seems like the last 10 years have had so many improvements and so many new things come out. I'm reading constant things about COVID-19 stuff, the vaccines, that the mRNA vaccine that Moderna and Pfizer both use.
Right.
It's not something super new, but it's something that
they'd been working on for a long time, and it happened to line up with the problem,
actually,
right? No?
It was two scientists. I can't remember their names. I should have done research on this.
Bob and Steve.
This is something I just thought of off the cuff.
So Bob and Steve.
Yeah, it was actually, one of them was a lady, so Bob and Stevette. But no, actually, the lead researcher on this was a lady, if I remember correctly.
Stevette and Bob.
But for years had been trying to get grants on this, and was just getting enough grants to get by and do some papers on, but never could get a research team, get enough money to get a research team and do all this. But with COVID, they were looking at because for a long time vaccines were just unknown quantity. We didn't really need new methods of making vaccines because the common cold, I mean, not the common cold, the flu. We have the vaccines for that.
Yeah.
We're just evolving them every year because the flu is just a nasty evolving motherfucker. Yeah. And all the other vaccines, pretty much killed everything they were, designed for. Don't have to worry about smallpox or rubellum or mumps or measles. So
right.
Why really evolve those vaccines much other than to reduce their side effects? But with COVID, it was a big opportunity for new vaccine research. There was a lot of money being thrown around. So one of the things was this mRNA vaccine finally got funded. And it could be a game changer in a lot of therapies.
So they needed the money and they finally got funded, huh?
Yeah.
Sounds like a conspiracy to me.
Yeah.
I'm not going there. I'm going to interrupt you real quick.
Yeah.
There's a podcast I'll listen to for ages that I love to death called Mysterious Universe. And they took such a hard-line anti-vax stance because they're like, I'm not letting my family get injected with a stupid new experimental vaccine that I
Is
had
it chimney sweep?
They're Australian and I can't do an accent right now. But the point is, they piss me off so bad with their anti-vax stance, saying it's so experimental and blah, blah, blah. It's all brand new and everything, that I had to cancel my Patreon support. I had to cancel my subscription. I was like, you guys have just completely lost me with this. So,
Oh, man.
Yeah, no, Mike's science has infected me in a lot of ways that I had to abandon these guys.
Oh no.
Yeah. But no, I mean there's talk, there's already clinical trials for a AIDS vaccine based on the mRNA tech.
I heard about that.
There's promising cancer research for it too.
all because we had this global pandemic. So
Yeah.
like there are some positive things. And apparently this new, I don't know if you guys have heard about this new Omicron variant that's going around. It is more infectious, but it's less deadly and the symptoms are less severe. And the reason for that is fucking evolution, because if it doesn't kill the host right off, it can live.
Yeah, see that's host death for a virus is the non-ideal situation.
It's not a good place for it to go. So this is kind of like we're starting to reach an equilibrium. While yes, Omicron's terrible, it may be where we need to go.
Well, you can also say that, it's not a great thing in the long run because it could just become, we'll have the flu and COVID.
Yeah.
But cold flu and COVID season, people.
Yeah, but it's more survivable.
Well, yeah.
As a species. Like that, I'm just saying, like, it's better than everybody fucking dropping dead when you get it.
Yes. Well, I mean, the odds of that were pretty low anyway. I mean, the COVID was not. I mean, it was bad. I mean, don't get me wrong.
It's bad.
But the chances of death were low-ish. I mean, they were kind of on the. They were borderline. They were not great.
No. Yeah,
but I think that's the problem. Is it was so the death rate was low enough that people could shrug it off, and that was kind of a bad thing.
Yeah. Well, that's a given. But so guys, Mike, have you got anything else? We've been going for an hour and 15 minutes.
Oh, damn. Well, let me blast through my page notes because I'd hate to have written them for nothing.
No, please do. Please do. Because we'll go for 2 hours if we had. As I said at the beginning of this series, the episodes will go as long as they have to, and we do have questions at the end of this.
We do have a lot of dead air to cut.
Right. Okay, that's fair.
So, like the current space race, it's really taking off.
Pun
the privatization. Yeah.
Pun intended.
Well, not really, but I'll take that credit.
Take that.
With the privatization, I'm not the biggest fan of Elon Musk as a person, but I do like SpaceX. I do wish they wouldn't work their engineers to death, but
and he's spurring them on to keep doing it too.
Yeah. And that just as a kid, that was one of my favorite things as a kid was space. I love the space shuttle and
David,
rockets.
Let me tell you, this motherfucker. The first time I met him, he had like a box of Legos in the closet that had like rocket ships all over it.
Yeah. It's like those old school. It wasn't really rocket ships. It was like that old, like kind of Buck Rogers-y theme, sci-fi.
Did you have those, David?
I had space Legos, yeah. The first Lego set I ever got, it was either a Pirates Lego set or it was a space Lego set, and I don't remember which.
Yeah.
So and just seeing, what's like seeing a rocket land, that was just like mind blowing to me.
We're talking about the SpaceX landing. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. No, the first time they nailed one of those, I was like, holy shit, they did it.
The fact that like pretty much maybe there was one, but 99% of their launches this year were on reflown boosters. So I think there was one like some DARPA payload or something that was on a new booster, but that just blows my mind.
Yeah,
and the fact that it's like, I mean, a private company in this sense is kind of ambiguous because they have gotten a lot of NASA and government money. But
but they're still owned by a private company.
They're still more private than
NASA.
Well, than what NASA was doing, and
Lockheed
Boeing,
Martin.
which was Lockheed and Boeing, both basically just their only customers were the biggest part is the government. Other fantastical science is, you don't think about much. You have a pocket supercomputer.
No, I think about that all the goddamn time.
Yeah.
I grew up back when the most advanced thing I could get my hands on was the little LED football game.
But I mean, it's even worse than that. It's even more than that. Like the your smartphone has more processing power than that probably existed in the whole world.
Oh, I know.
In like the 1980s.
Oh, I know. This thing puts a Cray supercomputer from way back to shame.
Yeah.
I mean,
they weren't. I mean, they were just not, as far as we have it now, very powerful. Like a Cray.
Right.
When I was growing up, a Cray supercomputer was like the most powerful computer.
And it's shaped like a C.
Yeah, and it had probably about as much processing power as like, let's say, probably a PlayStation 2, maybe.
Now I'm just picturing a Cray running Battle Arena Toshinden.
Yeah. Admittedly, it's completely different, computational workloads.
I gotcha.
And another thing that, for a long time, I was also kind of into cars growing up in my
given.
Adolescence.
That's a given.
The holy grail of cars, like they were always saying, you would never see 1,000 horsepower street car. It just can't happen. It's physically impossible. Dragsters can do it, but they're running, these exotic, very, very nasty fuels that, just explode in anything other than the most precision instrument. Admittedly, you can't really, other than a hypercar, you can't buy a 1,000 horsepower car. But there's a couple of YouTube channels I watch that easily take a Chevrolet V8 and slap turbos on it and make 1,000 horsepower, no problem.
Interesting. I didn't know about that.
It's just something that, and even your most vanilla cars in general, take what would be considered like the slowest cars today. They can run rings around even what are considered quick cars from the 70s and 80s.
Oh, yeah.
Like a Toyota Camry right now is faster than a lot of what we consider muscle cars from that era.
Which is hilarious in a lot of ways. Can you imagine one of those things going up against like the General Lee? And the Duke boys just going, what the fuck?
This little Mazda just zipping by.
I love that. What else do you got there, buddy?
And just that, have you ever watched videos of like superstructure, like giant ships or something being built?
Oh God, that is amazing to me. Just the sheer size of the ship.
Soft, squishy little grubs of us can, not only can we build these giant, multi-ton behemoths, these things that are millions of tons. That's a staggering number right there. A ton is a lot.
Right.
And millions of them in one place, and one thing that we make move is a lot.
Well, I always like the, I used to watch a lot of Science Channel, and I always loved watching those ones about those, like, mega drills that bore through mountains.
Mega structures.
How huge those drills are, and, like, just the amount of, like, water and oil that goes into boring out these mountains with these huge fucking drills.
This reminds me of something you said, Mike, which is just you look at these giant things being constructed, and basically we just threw a pile of monkeys at it.
Yeah, no, they're just, a bunch of semi-smart monkeys.
We're literally the doozers. Just waiting for Godzilla to come and eat our buildings.
Down at Fraggle Rock. Yeah,
Jeez.
No. Some giant thing eating her structures. Oh, my God. Yeah, no, seriously, though. It's a bunch of little tiny, smushy things building giant metal things that could kill us.
Not even just...
I'm not talking about, like, weapons. I'm talking about, like, if they fell on us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no,
we're fucked.
Easily paced.
Thank God they don't have brains, though,
Well...
Shut up, Mike. Don't make me worry.
AI.
Shut up.
And that's
don't do it.
Downer sound.
That's another thing I learned about recently was I never really understood how like AI algorithms worked, and just I can't really describe it too well right now, but just learning how so you hear about them when they're training AI, right? And so
Yeah, isn't it like when they do those the things?
Dynamics, yeah.
so like
Well, no, I mean like where it's like, please select this everything in this picture that has a car.
that's AI training. That's just distributed. That you're basically sanity checking the AI. So what they're do with that information is take what you selected and compare it to what their AI selected, and then they're like, well, okay, we need to tweak these values.
Yeah.
Now, here's the scary thing. Imagine one of them passing a bluff check.
Oh shit.
No kidding.
Oh, are you a robot?
Oh, that's coming.
Yeah. No. The first time a robot can get on like Pornhub, we're fucked.
So I always wondered how this AI stuff is able to run. If it takes so much computational power to run, how is it like working on your smartphone or your video card or something? So what it is that all that computational power is really is necessary for the training. So the AI algorithm has a couple of variables that it uses to work its problems, and it's finding out those variables that are optimal for your workload. That is the real problem. But once you find those variables, the AI algorithm is able to run on fairly cheap hardware just to do that problem. Like, obviously you're not going to take a image recognition AI and have it, crack passwords or something. But once
they
it's
expect
trained,
children to do that in schools for some reason.
Once the AI algorithm's trained,
right,
you can just let it loose and it'll do its thing for a fairly cheap amount of horsepower. So that's why we're able to have stuff like good optical character recognition or speech recognition. That's a great one because have any of you used the original Dragon Naturally Speaking?
No, but I know about it.
That thing was garbage.
Yeah,
like it was so terrible, and I didn't realize that
the more you use it.
Well, no, that was just classical programming. You trained it, but the way you trained it is it couldn't recognize, say, if you started doing an accent or something, or if you said it just slightly wrong enough, because nobody says the same word, exactly alike every time.
Right. So what you're saying is that you could really confuse Dragon if you just suddenly became Irish.
And you had to read paragraphs of text that it knew what it was to train it.
Oh, God. Okay.
But
that's a nightmare.
With your like,
I don't even want to raise children, and you're telling me to raise a robot.
Yeah, but your smart device, you don't even have to train those anymore, really.
Well, Google's still pretty doy-doy in a lot of ways.
I don't know. I mean, I haven't had much problem lately.
Do you know how many times Google goes, I have no idea what the fuck you just said. Could you say that again?
Maybe you should try talking without mashed potatoes in your mouth.
Shut the fuck up, Mike.
But, and I mean, the AI stuff does worry me. I mean, not to get conspiratorial on
you, please do.
But
we'll do an episode on the singularity at some point.
Oh, yeah, but please do. Go ahead.
It is like everything powerful, it has
the potential
to be abused and misused. And, it's going to happen.
By the way,
don't know how, but we'll figure it out one day.
By the way, I'm just going to throw this in there. If anyone out there listening has ever wondered what it's like to ride home with Mike from work, this entire episode is like being on a road trip with Mike. This is what it is, basically. You talk about something, Mike tells you some stuff. You bring up something else, Mike tells you a hell of a lot more stuff. It's really interesting.
I'm glad it's interesting and not infuriating.
I am having fun.
I am too.
I didn't expect a crash course in radio.
Technology, but Mike's in every conversation with Mike is like going like to the lowest budget school you can, but still learning. It is really cool. Have you got anything else you want to cover, Mike, before we go to questions?
I think it's time for questions.
I think it's time for questions as well.
Question time!
Yeah, we put out. Hang on, before we start that, I'm going to check real quick on Twitter, see if we got anything else. David, could you do the same since you also tweeted a thing? I am now being followed by Lack, which is not a question, but awesome.
Yeah, Lack is great.
Yes, I'm being followed by several people that were not following me before, and that is freaking awesome. I cannot tell you how awesome that is. So, let's go with questions on my end. We've got a lot in the questions for the show thing. If you would like to join our Discord, please head to supernatpod.rocks and click the Patreon link at the Discord link at the top.
Also click the Patreon link too.
Yeah, that too. We've got a lot of fun stuff coming on there. So, first question from Ghost Forge, which we've kept multiple from several people. The first one is
friend of the show, Ghost Forge.
Absolutely. Ghost Forge is an awesome dude. So, what topics do you fundamentally find difficult to be objective about? And I'm going to go first with any kind of right-wing conspiracy. I'm just going to go with that because, like, it's always like the lizard people are Jews or something that, like, anything that basically you can't rationally argue against because a person won't see sense, I have a problem with, you know?
Yeah.
I can't be objective
Right there
with
with
that.
you.
Yeah, like the whole, like we were talking about the JFK Dallas thing. Mike, what about you?
I mean, I would go a little more narrow, like QAnon. God,
QAnon.
Yeah, QAnon is just
Okay.
all like I watch and read QAnon stuff for laughs because it's just so
Batshit insane? Yeah.
You're cool with the lizard people, though.
Mike's cool with the lizard boys.
His bumper sticker is Ike is my homie.
Yeah.
So by objective, we're talking about like trying to, you know, see
Like you-
both sides.
Yeah, like Ghost
Yeah.
Forge also
them
says,
some
I'm
credit.
guessing it's probably stuff like Time Cube and Ike's Lizards.
I mean,
Which that is a very good guess, Ghost. That is like right up there at the fucking top.
a lot of conspiracies in general, just because
Yeah.
it's everyone's so bad at keeping a secret.
Like for me, I'm gonna put like right up at the top, the military alien industrial complex is like the hardest fucking thing for me to deal with. Mike, you're saying QAnon, right?
Well, I said QAnon.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, David, what's yours, buddy?
If I'm going to narrow it down, I'm probably going to say like the whole lizard people thing because again, it's just codifying
It's just
hatred.
all fucking Jewish people. That is all it is.
all anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
It's anti-Semitism all the way down.
I'm not a fan of anti-Semitism at all.
Yeah, it's like the
I want to be
turtles.
put on record. I am not a fan.
None of us
anti-Semitism.
are fans of anti-Semitism. So, Blue Canary Kit has asked, obverse, what topics always make you skeptical? I'm going to go with what I said already. Yeah, the military and alien industrial complex is just, I cannot fucking, no. You saw pretty lights in the sky and you had to have a fucking backstory for it.
You got anything, David?
Like I can buy into ghosts. I can buy
Okay,
into
sure, yeah, same.
aliens.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that I am always skeptical about is like government conspiracy. Like if it involves the government,
Like,
I tend to kind of like tune out. I'm
which
like,
is what
no,
that's basically what I was talking about, Mike.
yeah.
I mean,
All of it. Just fucking all of it, Mike. You're skeptical about every goddamn
What
one.
Kevin brings up.
the most skeptical I could probably be is about cryptids in general.
Really?
Aw.
Dude.
I mean, other than
What about Jet Horse?
other than Bigfoot,
Okay, that's fair. All right.
I mean,
Okay.
Bigfoot is like the one I could give the most pass to, just because it seems the most credible.
Okay.
But Chupacabra.
No, even I have problems with Chupacabra.
Come on, name me some. Come on, I can't think of anything.
Dover Demon.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a gray with orange eyes.
Spring Hill Jack.
Spring.
And how
Okay.
about Irving Mothman?
Irving
the
Mothman,
Mothman.
attorney at law.
All of them. They're just so.
Except for Bigfoot.
Yeah, well,
Even Bigfoot to a
but
degree.
even Bigfoot, but he's less so than the others.
Okay. Mike, I want you to know that if you ever met Bigfoot, I'm pretty sure he would give you the warmest embrace and like the gentlest fondling.
I do believe in the Sasquatch, though.
The Sasquatch.
I love Sasquatch.
Yeah, he's the guy that dresses in the Sasquatch outfit, but plays a saxophone in the woods.
Oh, that dude's awesome.
Yeah, I believe in him.
Kit had another question specifically for you, Mike, and we've got quite a few that are specifically for you.
I feel targeted.
You fucking should, goddammit. So, for Mike, what's the first thing you remember being skeptical about?
Ah, God, I don't know.
Was it Santa Claus? Tell me it was Santa Claus.
I think Santa Claus. So I was not skeptical. I remember when I realized Santa Claus wasn't real, though.
Uh-huh.
Wait,
I
it's not
found-
real?
Wait, what?
Sorry.
God damn it.
Let the cat out of the bag there.
Shit.
Oh, my life's been a lie.
I have to end it.
But Kevin, didn't you say you had Santa Claus like in your attic or something like that?
What?
I thought there was something about you and Santa Claus.
I thought he was in my attic for a while because I kept hearing things moving before I realized it was squirrels.
I thought that you had some beef with Santa Claus.
Oh, no. I always claimed he was dead in my attic and
Yeah.
told people at school that, but that's different.
Okay, but
That was me being an asshole.
Okay.
That's not skepticism. That's being an ass.
okay. But no, I mean I found the presents in the back of my parents' closet.
Well, my
The
parents
classic
always,
thing.
when I did that, my parents always told me, well, Santa comes early.
Yeah.
And I was like,
But,
oh.
but I didn't ask them because I didn't want to be, obviously.
You didn't
wasn't
want to
supposed
be that jerk.
snooping. Well, I wasn't supposed to be snooping.
Oh,
so,
yeah, that too.
So when I
Ooh.
opened up, exactly what I saw in the back of the closet, I was like, oh, I see. And it said from Santa Claus. I'm like, oh, I see what you did
lying
there.
assholes.
No, I wasn't mad. I was
Okay,
like,
that's fair.
I was like, I got what I wanted, so it's not like I could be that mad about it. I mean,
You
just-
also kind of have to like it, too, though, because
Yeah.
it's like, they care, and they're trying to build
Yeah.
some sort of illusion for you to... They're trying to put some joy into your life, Mike. Just accept
Yeah.
it.
yeah. I mean,
David, what was the first thing you were skeptical about? If any?
I really don't know. I think the first thing I was ever skeptical about was probably a cryptid of some sort, where I'm like, it's probably not real. But I've come around to some of them. But
Yeah.
like it wasn't
I
until
love
I
that
got
you were
like
skeptical, and now you're like, oh, maybe.
yeah. Well, and it's the thing. Like now, I as I got older, I was again like kind of like getting more skeptical of like the whole government thing. Like
Right.
it was a secret government operation, and then
Right.
then of course I find out about MK Ultra, and then it's like, well, shit. Now I don't know
Oh,
what I believe
God.
anymore.
what is even real anymore?
I don't even know. You know what mine was? Easter Bunny. Because, I mean, like, okay, Santa Claus. It's a dude with a beard. Maybe he has, like, some kind of magic. But I'm not believing in a
dude with a beard.
giant
I'm real.
rabbit that fucking shits eggs.
Giant rabbit that brings Jesus chocolate.
Yes.
Do they
I'm-
ever establish that the Easter Bunny is the one who makes the eggs, though?
I don't know that we've established
the canon of the
anything.
Easter Bunny here?
That's the thing. There's no canon. Like, you don't have, like, Easter carols. So, to, like,
It's
get
all
it drilled in your fucking head.
yeah.
Now, I love that Ghost Forge responded to both of those questions with, it's Oregon energy crystals. I thought that was very funny because, like, me and Mike have personal experience with Oregon energy crystals. We're going to talk about that in a future
You charge them
episode.
together?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Fuck no. What the fuck? Look, you need to stop sneaking into my room. That's all I'm saying.
No,
All right?
it's at the same time. It has to be at the same time or it doesn't work.
Oh, God
You have
damn
to
it.
chant as you do it. You have to look
Yeah.
into each other's eyes.
Make eye contact.
And it has to be hard, firm eye contact.
Oh, God. I'm doing this for you, buddy. So,
Stroke of
Holly.
Crystal's brother.
Oh, God. Holly, our newest patron, asked for Mike, what's it like to be the Killjoy?
Oh, come on. I'm not the Killjoy, am I?
Ghost Forge, my dad also wants to know this question.
Like I said, I try not to be.
I know.
I try.
You try so hard, and, sometimes...
I don't want to be the buzzkill.
I know you don't.
But also at the same time, I have this competing urge to, for people to gain knowledge.
No, I understand because, we see so much stupidity in the world from working retail that we're like, fucking think!
Yeah.
Well, and Kevin, you made a really good point. Sometimes you try so hard, you get so far, but in the end, it doesn't really matter.
God, fuck you! Oh my God! Oh, I've already drank my booze. Fuck. So yeah, Holly also has some other questions. Mike, when has your skepticism backfired?
Oh, geez.
Never. He's perfect.
God, hell no.
Yeah, that's it.
That would be the great answer, but it's not true. I'm sure it has.
Yeah. But not in living memory.
No, I can remember a few times. This was when I was young, real young, obviously. I think I got that, beaten out of me early. Not beaten, literally, but
beaten with a fucking brick.
Driven out of me early when I would make assumptions. I remember a few times telling my brother something that I just assumed. And turning out to be wrong. I was like, God damn, I guess I shouldn't, just jump to conclusions.
Like that dumb kid that lived across the street from me that said cartoons were acted live action on stage in real time. I was like, are you stupid?
So terrible strain on the animator's wrist.
So, yes. So I learned to, try to at least have a plausible explanation for what the shit I'm saying.
Right.
So yeah, I'm sure it's happened. I'm not perfect. I'm not going to say that at all.
But it has, you have been wrong, obviously.
Oh, of course. God knows I have been. And it's probably, I try to make it on the little details. I try not to shoot my mouth off if I don't know, at least broadly, what I'm talking about.
As opposed to me, who lies with every solid breath that he takes.
I probably get the details more wrong than the broad strokes, but I'm not perfect by any means. I'm not going to sit here and say that.
Well, Holly also wants to know if you're the dedesignated driver.
I used to be.
Yeah, now not so fucking much.
I didn't really. So, I haven't done it in a couple of years, but one of the things I always I've done since 2012 was go to Dragon Con. And I didn't really drink before Dragon Con.
Yeah, and I think it's like a disease because it definitely fucking infected me, like this podcast helped.
And it didn't help that I got a job at a liquor store. So.
Yeah, that's kind of hit both of us.
Shit.
But,
don't worry, we're not going to kill anybody.
But, yeah,
So basically, no. Unless someone asks you to be.
But for a long time, I was people would go, and I would be the DD. And we didn't go to bars or anything. Right. If we're going to someone's house or something.
Yeah. I've been there. I remember.
And also, I do have the thing where I know my dad had it too, where I'm more comfortable driving than I am as a passenger.
So Mike's he will not let me drive him to work.
It's not that I won't let you, but
no,
you believe in aliens.
Mike, I asked you if I could drive you to work, and you said no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So don't fucking tell me you won't let people.
I'm wrong.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah. So, but in general, you seem to not want to drive as much as I.
Yeah, but there have been times where I've offered and you've been like, "Oh fuck no."
Yeah.
Fuck no, you're not driving me to work, you ass.
Because I'm not in control. So.
Yeah, you're sitting there going, "I fucking know you, hell no." So Holly has another question.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever
question?
Yes. Have you ever encountered something that didn't make sense to your understanding of reality / the universe / physics?
I mean, there have been a few things, and
I'm pretty sure we talked about like that meteor thing.
yeah. So that was that hole in the clouds. That was my best uneducated guess. I can't say educated because, you know, all my education past high school has been, you know, self-taught. But
we don't need no education.
yeah, but I mean, my best guess was a meteor, and I don't know, but yeah, I mean, there's lots of things. I mean, I'm not going to say with 100%. I'm not going to say absolutely it was a meteor. But I'm going to say that's the thing that fits the evidence the best. But that's scientists in general.
Yeah.
I mean...
But what has really stumped you?
Gosh.
Anything? Like that bright flash?
Your Christmas lights thing. That stumped me.
What?
This question?
Your ball of Christmas lights.
Right. Okay, I thought you meant like the fact that I choose colored lights over white lights on my Christmas tree.
Oh, no, I like colored lights, too.
Okay, hell yeah. Yeah, no, we got them strung up around the room right now.
White light people are weird.
I'm not going to say that, but like,
it's
it's definitely not my thing.
Because you're a fiance, but...
Shush.
I mean, no, the white lights I have...
right.
I could see some uses for, but I don't like them
sure,
exclusively.
Landing strips.
Yeah. But I'm trying to think, though. Something that stumped me. I mean, I haven't had many personal experiences that I couldn't at least come up with a plausible explanation for myself.
Okay, here's one just out of curiosity that I was there for. You remember when we were at the military park in Vicksburg in the tunnel?
Yeah.
That goes under the hill?
Yeah.
And Max said, all right, y'all need to... We were standing there like reading the graffiti in the tunnel, and Max is at the very end of our lineup and goes, all right, y'all need to move. And I said, why? And he said, because something's breathing on the back of my neck. And we hurry up and go out of the tunnel, and then just mist rolled down the fucking hill at us.
I didn't see that.
You were fucking at the front of the line. How did you not see that?
I didn't see any mist.
You
I don't remember.
You are fucking just trying not to remember.
I guess you missed it.
I mean, I'm fallible too, so I mean, that could have been cognitive dissonance that, you know, like, if it was there, I just blocked it out because it didn't.
You were just
but
like,
I would like to think that I would have noticed it.
Dude, you must have just like noped the shit out of that in your head.
And also, like I've said, there are times I can succumb to that panic, but also in the same vein, I try not to, in that panic state, take my observations too seriously because
well, the temperature did like suddenly drop when we stepped out where the sun was going down, but like I'm sure you were like, well, that's what happened because I'm not dealing with this.
Yeah, I mean, it could be either way. I mean, I don't know. I don't remember enough about it. I remember that trip, and I remember us being like,
you
know, that was once again, what is it about you and Max that are able to panic me so easily?
Because it's us. I don't know any other reason.
Succumb to it pretty easily, and I just joined.
Wasn't really calm either.
Was Warren there too?
Yeah, it was all four of us.
That and the Grand Gulf thing, both times that your panic drove me to panic.
I don't know, man. I think it's because there's two of us when it happens.
Well, yeah, it's the majority rule. People are very pliable to the majority rules. Like if most people around you are doing something, well, it seems like a good idea, right?
Right. So we got one last question here. And this is for all three of us, David. This is from someone you know, Mitchell Hall.
Yeah, Mitchell Hall. He and I were, we did some comic stuff together.
Awesome. Would you like to read his question?
Sure. So, how long before science will prove the existence of ghosts?
Mike, I'm going to let you go first.
I just feel that to me, I mean, obviously this is just the way I feel, that if ghosts were real, I think we could have at least found something by now. But then again, they could be, I mean, we're just now finding evidence of other quantum phenomenon.
Right.
But if it was as prevalent as, unless ghosts are something. So the human mind.
So you're saying unless they're a purely psychic phenomenon?
Yes, I mean, or at least mostly psychic, in that there's somehow something in the human, which would kind of make sense that if it was residual energy from a person, that another mind would be more sensitive to that.
Right.
Then maybe, but I don't know. I mean, how long? It's hard to say because
it's tied to technology. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like at least another 100 years.
So we would have to completely understand the workings of the human mind first, because there appears to be like even quantum structures in to neurons. Mm-hmm. Because if you just look at neurons as circuitry, it doesn't quite explain all of human cognition.
Right.
So there could be components there that we don't understand, and once we do understand, maybe then.
Like, have you heard the theory that we're basically just part of a huge cloud computing system, and that consciousness is part of this cloud?
I have not heard that, but sure.
Okay, cool.
Whatever.
Whatever.
I would think there'd be more, if it is a cloud computer, it's the worstly interconnected cloud computer in existence. But.
Sure. Okay. Fair. But
it's a Dell.
It's a compact.
It makes the Matrix look like a Commodore 64.
It's a compact Presario.
The Matrix makes it look like a Commodore 64.
Yeah, it's a compact Presario.
But
with the speakers attached to the monitor.
I mean, some weird quantum effects could tie together a lot of psychic and what am I looking for? Supernatural phenomenon.
What if we're seeing like residual shit from the cloud, like people's leftover existence in the cloud?
And also, time is kind of a weird thing too.
So, like temporal echoes.
Yeah, I mean, what if
talked about?
What if ghosts are just some people that are more sensitive to it, seeing echoes of because emotion, even though emotion is mostly chemical, it does really trigger a lot of neurological processes.
Oh, right, yeah, no,
stuff.
definitely.
So, I mean, it could be that. I mean, who knows?
Sure.
Just depends on what exactly a ghost is, and before we can actually explain it with science, because there's no real good unified theory of it yet.
That's really thoughtful of you, Mike. You want to hear mine? That's going to completely just shit all over everything you just talked about.
What's that?
We're never going to discover ghosts because as the Earth is moving, ghosts become disattached from the planet, and we're just leaving a trail of the dead through space. So it's just this
troll science.
What?
It's like troll parascience.
Yeah, no, it's just this fucking trail of dead spirits screaming in
Kevin,
space in loneliness.
Wouldn't we come back around to it on the next orbit?
No, we wouldn't, because we're moving through the galaxy.
I know.
So we're basically leaving this trailing spiral of the damned through space as we go.
That's so sad.
That is. And I just want you to think about that. Every time you think about me, remember that that's what I'm expecting after I die.
Kevin, but then there would be no ghost sightings because there would be no ghosts.
Schizophrenia. So, David, what's your feelings when we discover ghosts?
I always like that theory that maybe like what we perceive as ghosts is just other timelines. Like it's us being aware of it's us having like that momentary perception of this is another reality and it's bleeding onto ours. That's always been kind of a fun theory for me.
So it's like a just perceptual bleed from another version of this reality.
Yeah, it's just into the spooky verse, basically.
Into the spooky verse would be the best Disney World ride. I'm just going to say that. So, guys, we are at almost 2 hours of recording.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
I think it'll be a lot of cutout because we did.
There's going to be some cutout where I've had to go pee and rough bits and stuff
it's
like
bonus
that.
content.
So,
Is that what that's called?
Yes.
but one thing I did want to say on closing is that the question about what makes me ponder, and we had mentioned it before, but like Mandela effect stuff.
Oh, yeah. We're going to do a whole episode.
We can go into it in that episode, but there's been things that I've thought were like, no, that can't be the way it was.
This
like
is all about the Fruit of the Loom logo, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, first the Berenstein.
Yeah,
it's not
no,
Stain.
I am from the Berenstein Bear universe. God damn it!
And yeah, the Fruit of the Loom. I didn't realize that until we were like at work one day.
That there's no
discovered
cornucopia. There's never been a cornucopia behind him.
Yes.
Yeah, no,
Holy
fuck
shit,
that.
what?
Yeah.
You didn't know that?
Holy shit! We just fucked up David's head.
Oh my god, what? No, you're lying to me.
No, I'm dead serious. There's no cornucopia behind that shit. There never has
Start
been.
projecting this weekend, but I guess I'm gonna go back.
Yeah, no,
Government
sorry,
claims
dude.
there never was.
Yeah, this is what you're doing this weekend, buddy. Sorry, we
I
fucked
need to
up
find
your
that
life.
cornucopia. No wonder things have gone south.
Yeah, no kidding. Ever since we left the cornucopia universe, it's all been shit. So that's we got to do an episode about Mandela effect. It's
At least
what we're gonna do is we're gonna do an episode about glitches in reality that will involve simulation theory, the Matrix, stuff like the Mandela effect, that kind of stuff.
Or maybe that would fit more in a multiverse
episode. Well, we'll talk about that as well. We're basically going to do a
reality
the nature of
episode.
reality. Yeah, I like that idea. And we're going to get Clark on for that one because he is down for that shit.
That's his jam, yo.
That's his jam, yo.
That and ghosts.
This is my jam, bitch. All right, so that just leaves me to say thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you again to Holly. You are now queen of the podcast. We really appreciate it. Don't forget to head to our website, supernatpod.rocks or supernaturalselectionpod.com. You can go there. You will find a link to our Discord where you can join in the discussion, submit questions for the podcast. You can promote your stuff. You can post the most cringy shit you can find on the internet. We also have our Patreon where you can join. We're going to be posting some stuff on there, little samples of our bonus content, which is fucking hilarious. Me and Mike are reading a book together. I'm reading a book at Mike. Let's get that right. At Mike.
I like the implied violence of "at" in that sentence.
Yes, and me and David have been watching these documentaries, and we're going to start riffing them like a riff tracks thing. And it's going to be a lot of fucking fun. I'm going to post like some little content there so you can see what you're missing. And don't forget to follow us on social media at SupernatPod. We're on Twitter and Facebooks. You can listen to this and other fantastic shows and music on Deviant Behavior Radio, found at deviantbehaviorradio.com. David, where can they find you?
You can find me on the interwebs as at HPKOMIC. And instead of plugging anything, I just want to mention that my wife, Holly, just came in with a cornucopia. Completely apropos of nothing. Well, I mean, she heard me say something about a cornucopia, so there we go. I
was going to say, this is some fucked up synchronicity right here.
Right.
Yeah. Also, hi, Holly. Mike, have you got anything you want to promote other than this show?
Not really. I don't have any irons in the fire, really.
All right. Now, you and me still need to work on our podcast, Mr. Monk's Brain Gravy.
Yeah, I need to stop being lazy. That's purely my fault.
We've got, like, this show that's going to be a little bit like Roundtable of Gentlemen, but even stupider.
Kevin and I tend to get on tangents, and we decided, well, we should probably put that to some permanent medium and let people hear our insanity.
Yeah, so we're going to do that at some point in the future.
Like, we will... Okay, you know how...
And there will be guests.
You know the house dead horses that you can beat? Well, we like, grind that dead horse up, like, dry it out, and, like, snort that dead horse.
Yeah. That horse is fucked 9 ways to Sunday. So yeah, Mike, thank you so much for doing this episode with us.
No problem.
I always love having you on, and the fact that you were in the driver's seat was great. David, thank you so much. I know you got some stuff coming up. I know you got the Nostradamus thing cooking in the background. Yep. And some other stuff. I know next week, we're probably going to be doing the Vatican Secret Archive, and I hope both of you can be there for that.
I should be there for that.
Because that's going to be... Because, like, we're going to talk about some amazing stuff, including, like, 1,200 years of secrets and Jesus' foreskin.
And you know what? It's also an opportunity for me to bust out some really fucking racist Italian accents. So I'm very excited about that.
This could be so fucking good.
Is it going to be worse than Jared Leto's Italian accent?
It's going to be so much worse than that. I haven't
seen House of Gucci yet. Is it that bad?
I haven't seen it.
A clip, and oh my god,
we're going to make him look like a fucking Oscar winner.
It basically sounds like Mario.
It's a me, Gucci.
Mamma mia.
Yeah.
Mamma mia, Mia make a closer. Okay, so that's about it for this week. Thank you so much for listening. Again, head to supernaturalpod.rocks. Check out the Discord and the Patreon. Please give if you can. It will help keep the show going, and we can start upgrading our equipment. Anyway, thank you, everyone. We love you so much. Grape, not Eros, but a little bit Eros. So,
oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So until next time, stay safe and stay frosty. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Argel's crystals.
Supernatural Selection has been a production of DeviantBehaviorRadio.com. You can find it and more shows broadcast weekly at DeviantBehaviorRadio.com. Our theme music is Screensaver by Kevin MacLeod. It is used through Creative Commons license, and more of his music can be found at incompetech.filmmusic.io.